With the goal to elevate a milestone experience, our group chose to frame the question, how might we improve a Dartmouth student's experience of taking their freshman fall finals? Before we interviewed users, we gathered inspiration by creating a student journey map, starting with course selection and ending with post-final exam reflection. Our research process began with standardizing a baseline list of questions for our user interviews, including asking about how their high school finals compared to their first college finals experience, and also reflecting upon their best and worst finals periods thus far. For each set of themes, we generated several potential solutions. And from these interviews, some of our most powerful quotes were, "I'm not part of any big clubs or teams, and I like to take a lot of random classes, so I rarely have friends in my classes to study with." Or, "I took Psych 1 and did way better on the second test because I studied in a group rather than alone." Our two main insights were that as students have gotten older, it's more likely they will know someone in a class and can study with them, and the times where they studied with a group, they felt significantly more prepared for an exam. Reflecting on their freshman finals, students either wanted to reach out to classmates to study, but they did not know anyone in the class, or they didn't even realize that they could be seeking out opportunities for group study in order to improve their learning. Since we couldn't directly test users in a finals environment, we decided to create a prototype of an experience by storyboarding pictures while we narrated out the scenario and the solution to users. In the storyboard, we revealed that during the first week of class, a professor announces to their class, "If anyone would like to be in a study group with some other classmates, fill out this form and I can pair you up based on shared availability." After showing this prototype to several students, here was an insightful piece of feedback.
I once had a studying experience where I was working with my friends, except we were all at really different levels, so it was really hard for me to work with them because they knew more than I did or I knew more than they did on different topics. One time I was working in a group with all my friends, and it was really hard because we came up with a problem where none of us were able to figure out the answer and we had no one to ask for help.
With this feedback, we created a second prototype, the new iteration being that when filling out the form, you indicate not only your time availability, but also your comfort level with the material, and whether or not you have a tutor in the class. The idea being that a tutor can accompany a study group to a few of their meetings before an exam, and that can be there to answer additional questions that members of the group have, particularly given that TA office hours tend to be very overcrowded. In testing our second prototype, we received feedback that some classes have a much greater availability of tutors than others. Furthermore, your confidence with material can change over the course of a term. Users said they had mixed feelings as to whether they would prefer groups changing between every year exam or just staying with the same people instead. Although we did not have time to make and test a third prototype, this is something we hope to consider for future iterations.